Well, good evening, Emmanuel Church. I am here with one of our missionaries, the Bidelspachs, and instead of me telling you about them, since we're doing this video interview, I thought I'd give them a chance to just introduce themselves, so maybe to those who have not heard about their ministry yet. And so just to start you guys off, just want to thank you for taking this time to go through this interview with us. Could you just tell us who you are, the ministry you work with, and how long you've been serving in this ministry?
We've been with China Outreach Ministries for 26 years, and we're serving at Penn State University. Our ministry is to students and scholars from China on American universities.
Yeah. China Outreach Ministry is across the United States, but we've been right here at Penn State's main campus in State College. And for the first 15 years, I was doing full-time campus ministry while Ben was working at the university.
I was her best volunteer. She told me that, so I know it's true.
And then about 11 years ago, we were asked to work directly with our new staff, training them to raise support, coaching them through that process that sometimes takes about 2 years, and then train them to do basic campus ministry. So just recently, I have trained someone to take over so that we could just turn it over to someone else, because we're planning to retire, officially retire, to quit receiving a salary by the end of this year. But we do plan to continue to volunteer at least through May, because I'm still training one of our new staff for this year here at Penn State.
Kind of still dealing with some after effects of some of the pandemic. Is there anything that's going to be happening this semester that you could tell us about?
Well, we've already started having an English class and an English Bible study. The numbers are down, but there are more people getting involved, and we found that the people who were involved in English class are also involved in are also interested in an English Bible study to learn more about the Bible.
Yeah. So this summer, our Chinese staff, that is Xin and Ing, they had a picnic at Raystown Lake in July, and there were probably about 80 people there. And they were people that they've been working with. And so that was exciting that there's still Chinese here that are interested in the ministry. Probably about half of those are Christians. And then they had a welcome picnic at Bald Eagle State Park a couple of weeks ago. So we met some more people there. And then we started doing, Ben and I started volunteering and working with them, because they don't have an English person on staff with COM that works with them at Penn State right now. So we decided we would help out. So we've already had our third week with English, and already most of the people are also interested in Bible study.
That's great. And you are kind of hinted toward answering the next question. So we'll just roll right into it. And just if you could share what's been the greatest joy and the biggest challenge recently in the ministry.
Do you want to talk about the challenges?
Yeah, the challenges were, our ministry has always been a friendship ministry, getting together. We would take them to church picnics and things like that, and sightseeing and
Big parties.
Weenie roast in the backyard. Well, with COVID, that stuff will come to a halt. But something happened. We've started doing Zoom Bible studies and found out that some of the friends that had gone back to China already have joined in on some of these Zoom Bible studies, and invited friends that probably would have never been able to come to the United States. So, we wonder, what's going on? Why is this happening, God? He knows exactly why, and we can trust him all the time.
So that's challenges with mixed blessing.
Yes.
It's also been one of our greatest joys, that we can still connect with people even when they're not here.
Yes. Yeah, I love to hear how even in the challenge, you've been able to find how the Lord is still at work, and a great reminder for us that even in adversity, that God still has plans, and to be faithful to those. So we thank you for that.
And he's doing much more than we're aware of too.
Right. That's true. Yeah. Well, for us here at Emmanuel, we're committed on being on mission together in our community. What's a way that you minister to Chinese students that we could take and apply into reaching into our community?
One thing that we've always done is we just call it relational evangelism. We try to meet their felt needs. And most of the people who come here from China want help with English, even though we might be able to understand them well, they don't always understand us, especially the idioms and the slang and things that are more cultural. And we soon find out by just building relationships with them that we have opportunities to share the hope that we have, the joy that we have, how we can trust God in this or see God in this. And before we know it, usually after 1 or 2 English lessons, they're ready to learn more about the Bible. And so it's also one of those great joys, but I wanted to share it for this question because it's something that everyone can get involved in, no matter where you live and who you're near. It could be your next door neighbor, it could be a family member, it could be the people that look lonely that you see on the streets or in the grocery store, especially if it's an international. I can't imagine what it would be like to move to a country where English is not the first language and to start living there among people who aren't like yourself. And I know many people are from other countries, or they feel like maybe they're just not accepted. There's something different about them and something they don't understand about us. And it really makes it hard. But if you just care about people enough to talk to them and get to know them a little bit, talk about their kids or where are they from and what's it like there, you can soon have an opportunity to really start building a relationship. And that's what it takes. I remember how Jesus did it. No, I wasn't there, but I read about it. Jesus would just meet people where they were at. If they were hungry, he'd feed them. If they were blind, he'd heal them. If they needed forgiveness, he forgave them. If they just needed a friend, he was a friend. And I think, God just uses us in that way to meet people where they are and to show them that we care about them. But it isn't just because we're that loving. It's because we have God's love in us. And that's what we need to share with others. And people can do that wherever they are. And it doesn't matter your age or your gifts.
And something neat, one of the benefits I've seen through this whole COVID mess is that you have a good talking point in the grocery store or wherever you are. You meet people and you can see sometimes they're kind of frustrated and say, wow, well, what do you think of these crazy times? And, that's a talking point to start and to get to share that, I have hope in the future because I know who's in charge. It's not me and it's not the people that think they are, but it's the Lord, and he's never fooled. And it's amazing how many people have had opportunities to share like that with that maybe before COVID, they'd have never wanted to hear it. So, just try to be, don't try to pick a fight or anything about what you believe about this or what you believe about that as far as the COVID, but we can all agree it's a mess. And share what our hope is and allow them to share if they want to. A lot of times they'll just listen. And if they hear the truth, then it's between them and God what they do with it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that with us and just even encouraging us as we're on mission as well. The last question I want to ask is just how can we be praying for you and your ministry?
A lot of people already know that I've been dealing with cancer again, and it's not a recurrence of the cancer that I had about 9 years ago. It's different. But the good thing is it's a benign thing. It doesn't metastasize, and I am on oral chemo to reduce the size. And once it reduces enough, it'll just shrivel up and die. So I won't even need surgery. The hard part has been my energy level and not always feeling well. And that's one reason why we started thinking about retirement. The other reason that we started thinking about retirement is there's just so many younger people that can probably relate to these students, maybe easier than what we could. But I think the biggest reason is that we need more time to just be with our family and to have an influence on them. They're still not our children, but brothers and sisters, siblings, and nieces and nephews that don't know the Lord. And we haven't had enough vacation to really spend time with family. And so with China Outreach Ministry, we can't really be on staff unless we at least put 20 hours a week in. And we just don't feel like we want to do that every week. Our prayer was that we could train someone to take over and not just say, I'm quitting, I'm sorry, there's no one to take over. But God has given us that opportunity, and we are really blessed to have Nick Romanin, who has been with China Outreach Ministry for about 8-9 years and working out in Purdue, who is taking over all the training and coaching for us. So we're just wrapping it up the rest of this year, and then we will officially be retired.
And as we work with undergrads, we can show them that Grandma and Grandpa are pretty neat people.
Yeah, we can still volunteer, but at this point in our life, we want to serve God wherever He wants us, but we feel that it's in our time, the time that we have available.
Yes.
So we're just so thrilled that God has given us this opportunity for over 25 years, and just couldn't think of anything that we would have rather done. And so we also want to take this opportunity to thank this church and others, individuals who have been supporting us, some for 25 years or more, and others maybe just got in on it this past year. But no matter how long they've been supporting us, we're very thankful, and we truly believe that each of our supporters and everyone that prays for us is just as important to God as we have been. We just have different jobs to do. And so we just thank those who have been given the job to pray for us and support us financially.